guys, how are you all doing today? Remember, if you like the channel, go ahead and like, subscribe, and leave a comment if you guys feel like it. But today I want to talk about a book series that I love the first 3 versions of it, and there's altogether 8 inside the series. The first book and the second book for each part. But there's one part I just can't get into, and it's not because the author's bad or anything. She writes very good books, but it's just when it comes to the 4th set, I'm not too excited about it. It's a story I can't get into. I can't pull myself in and see the imaginary world the way I need to be able to get into my books. And the series I'm talking about is actually called Princesses of Myth, and it's by Esther Friesner. These are the first 2 in it, and this one's called Nobody's Princess, and the second one inside of it is Nobody's Prize. Now, these are mini-series all put together into one series called Princess of Myth. This one is just about Helen of Troy. And it talks about how she actually is not like other princesses. She wants to go out of her way to become a queen that can learn how to fight, who she actually learns how to use weapons, things like that. And inside the story, she ends up taking on a voyage to go get the Golden Fleece with Prince Aragon, that whole entire story. And they kind of put her name into it to kind of give it a new idea, which I honestly like. And this book is actually one, it took me about 7 to 8 times of reading for me to finally get into it, to be honest with you. But I do say it is worth the read, because it kind of explains that just because she's a princess and her life should be perfect, doesn't mean it is. But this is the first part, and these ones, and the ones I'm showing you, the first 3, I actually can't get into. It's the 4th one, I just can't. And the second one for the Princess of Myth series actually goes into this one about Nefertiti, and it is called Sphinx Princess and Sphinx Chosen. And it goes in about how she gets told by her queen aunt that she has to marry the crown prince. She doesn't want to because she wants to be independent, live her own life, which at that time she could have, but being related to the royal family means she didn't get a lot of say. Having even your aunt as a queen means there's a good chance the pharaoh could pull your family into his, and you don't get a say in that. But then it goes into how she has to run for her own safety and get away. And it's a really good story. And these actually are the first ones I ever bought from her series about the Princesses of Myth. And I will always say these are some of my favorite ones to reread. I'll reread this one 1,000 times and never get tired of either of them. And then the 3rd set is actually right here. And this one actually starts showing you on the back all the Princesses of Myths, and about how they all actually are connected, how they're all by the same author, things like that. And it even says up here, like, Nobody's Princess, author of Nobody's Princess, because they ended up becoming best time sellers. And this one is about ancient Japan. It's about a young woman named Homiko, and she actually was said to be the first ruler of Japan, if you look into history. And I could be wrong, so if I am sorry. But that's what the history showed when I looked into it. And Homiko is supposed to be the first ruler who was actually the most powerful shaman ever lived, because she could actually call on the army of the dead to come and attack. And this goes into her as a child growing up. Her clan ends up going to war. It talks about her going on the spiritual path, losing her teacher, having to learn from it. And then this one goes into her actually becoming a slave for the clan that she went to war with. She has to work to get them all to become friends and work together, and finally to create the central Japan like we know nowadays. These ones are my second favorite inside the series, but I have reread this one so many times I could memorize it and say it by heart at this point. Now for the one I can't get into. Now this is the last one inside the series, and this one is called Deception's Princess and Deception's Pawn. And it is about Maeve, which is the Celtic princess who ended up becoming queen of all of them. And I mean, Maeve is a very interesting story. The history is very interesting, but I don't know if it's just the way she wrote this book or what it is, but this one I just can't get into. I have tried so many times. I can get through a certain portion, then it starts to get uncomfortable, and then I have to stop and restart it to even get past that portion. So unfortunately, these ones I don't think I will be keeping much longer, because while I like the stories, I just don't have any feeling to ever go back and reread them after I read them the first time. And it's nothing nothing against anything. I think these are great books. She's a great author. She wrote some very entertaining books that are very cool. But it's just that one I just can't get into. And it's nothing against her. I think she's the book series is great, and it's really good if you have people who are really into history like I was growing up, and they want to learn about ancient historical figures that may be women. It's really great because she does take historical facts and also does fiction with it to create a very good historical facts, but also to create the story. But it's not like she changes very much. She tries to go off of actual facts that are available on the web everywhere to show that you don't have to go that far off the story to make a good story out of those facts. But I don't know. Maybe you guys have the same trouble. Maybe you know a way around it so I don't have to give up this part of the series. If you guys have a way, please let me know. I would love to know down in the comments. But as I said, if you guys like the channel, go ahead and like it. Go ahead and subscribe if you guys feel like it. We're working on trying to get to 500. And if you guys have any questions, anything you'd like me to look at or review that I could get my hands on, go ahead and ask down inside the comments. It was nice talking to you. See you guys later.